Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 116, Let Go Now or Hold On Forever. That's right, everyone. We have two choices in life, to let go now or hold on forever. It's always one of those two. And we're going to talk about what that means on today's show, if that sounds like a little bit of a weird way to start out. But thank you for listening and for picking this episode today, whatever it was that drew you to this particular show and this episode. I thank you. I'm glad you're here. And I hope you're all doing well. It's basically March now. We're getting pretty thick into 2022. And it's been just a roller coaster and amazing. I've hit a record month here at Career Uprising. Truly, it's been almost 7 years that I've been in business, and February of this year has been the biggest ever. So many clients I'm enrolling. It's really exciting, and I'm expanding my team, and there's just so much growth happening. And I'm hoping that that is the case for you, that we can get you to reaching your goals as well. So take a moment now while you're listening, give this show a rating and a review on iTunes in particular, or however you like to listen. If there's another way you can rate the show, I'd appreciate it. If you ever want to email me a quick testimonial, I will put you on my website and you can give a review that way as well. I have a whole new page dedicated to this show at careeruprising.com/podcast. You can listen to all the episodes there for free. No account is needed. It's a great way to listen. And I just had one come out a week or so ago about why you don't need a college degree. I've gotten some good feedback on that one already. So check that out if you haven't done so on my website, careeruprising.com/podcast. So let's dig in and talk about what I mean with today's topic. Let go now or hold on forever. So I've done a lot of work on myself over the years as a coach and as a person. And I've had many coaches myself. Most coaches have coaches, and I'm constantly coaching myself as well to be the best possible version of myself that I can. And that's what this show is about. Not just this episode, but the entire Career Uprising show and movement that I have, right? It's about being the best version of yourself, not only in your career, but in your entire life. And if you haven't known it by now or recognized it, you need to acknowledge that it's never just about your career. And that's why I don't solely focus on job search and career topics. I mostly do. And even shows like this that seem like they're not related to your career, I can assure you they are. They are. Because you are a whole person, right? You're not just your career or just your health or just your personal life. It's all blended together. You're the same person in all those scenarios. So the trends that are happening in one area of your life are nearly always happening in another. So we need to look at everything. And I always coach the whole person. And so that's one reason why I don't limit myself to talking just about job searching or careers, because it's all connected. Today's message is absolutely applicable to any area of your life. And I'll let you insert that meaning and that interpretation into it as we go through and you learn what I'm teaching you today. So I want you to think about this phrase, or two phrases: let go now or hold on forever. And before I tell you what that means to me, I want you to think about what that phrase means to you. What are you letting go of in life, and what are you holding on to? How do we know what to hold on to in life and what to let go of? In most cases, I think a lot of people are good at holding on, right? Most of us are pretty good at holding on to things and pretty stubborn at letting go. Maybe not everyone, but I find that to be the case for a lot of people. And sometimes it's tricky just to know Which one is the right thing to do in life? Should I let go of that job that I'm in and try to go for a new one, or stick it out a little bit longer? Should I let go of that relationship or hold on a bit longer and see if it gets better? Should I let go of any of these habits in my life or my health? Or should I go through the hard and dirty work of trying to change them? There's so many things in life that we're constantly letting go of and holding on to. It's a continuous cycle. But it's a cycle that you need to evaluate. You need to be aware of it so that you're not on default, because I can assure you that you are. And I still am in some ways. I've become a hell of a lot more aware of it over the years, but it's a challenge. And that's what most of us are doing. We are running on autopilot, not even consciously aware of what we're holding on to in life that maybe we shouldn't, and what we've let go of, maybe that we shouldn't, or that we need to let go of. But one of the best things that you can do for yourself in terms of self-care, which we hear a lot of talk about these days, is to evaluate your habits, because they're incredibly powerful. In fact, your habits will end up defining you. But the good news is that you can change your habits, which means you can redefine yourself at any time. So let's work through some examples. To me, this phrase and this concept of letting go and holding on is one that originated for me in relationships. That's where I have found it to be the most pertinent. So let's say that somebody, maybe it's your spouse or someone in your family, usually it's people who are the closest to you, says something or does something that angers you. And it doesn't really even matter what it is. I'll let you pick that moment and hold it in your mind. Just imagine the last time somebody offended you or didn't meet your expectations, whatever it is. Did you let those feelings, you get a rush of emotion that comes through you. Did you let them pass through you and acknowledge them and let them move on? Or did you hold on to them? Did you think about it all day, let it stew while you were at work, letting that resentment build up, having that conversation with them over and over in your head and telling them off? I've done it. We all do it. But that's you holding on, and you're holding on to pain. Okay? So when something uncomfortable happens in life, what do? And it could be the slightest discomfort, it could be, a traffic jam and you're late for work. It could be somebody saying something that offends you. It could be something big like a divorce or, getting fired from a job. Insert whatever you want in the blank. But what do? Do you dwell on it? Do you think about it more? Do you relive it over and over in your mind? Do you talk to everybody about it and complain about it? Or do you let go of it? Do you let it come in, acknowledge it, and accept it, and let it pass through you? You can let it be just a moment, because that's what it is. Most things that we hold on to and aggravate and think about are literally just moments. But we never let it be just a moment. It's got to last all day and all week in our heads, right? All right. These arguments and these feelings that you have building up don't have to last all day in your head. And not only that, but it stays in your body because the mind-body connection is so strong. So this is where physical ailments start to manifest, right? When we're holding on over a long period of time to pain or grief or resentment, whatever it might be, it's staying in your body. The energy of it is, I promise you. And that's where we start to get a health crisis or some other crisis in our life. And we don't make that connection that maybe it's this pain from this past situation that we are still holding onto, even though that event has been over for a very long time. All right. Moving on is hard to do. I know. But trust me, holding on to pain is harder. It's always harder. You're probably just living with the pain and you've gotten used to it. You're not even fully aware of it. If you don't let go immediately or almost immediately of whatever somebody did or said that bothered you, you could potentially hold on forever. or at least for a really long time. We do this unconsciously all the time. Have you ever had somebody say or do something that maybe triggers an old memory, or there's just a past association that you have made emotionally? Maybe you even hear something on the news that, from somebody about somebody you don't even know, and it triggers feelings for you of maybe a past situation. This is what I mean by holding on forever. If something is happening now that's unrelated, that triggers something from the past, you're still holding on to that thing from the past. You haven't processed it and healed it and let it go. In healing, it doesn't mean we forget about it and that it didn't happen. We're not sweeping it under the rug, but we are managing that emotional reaction that we have and even distancing ourselves from that a little bit and accepting it and not denying it and rallying against it still. When you truly and completely let go of something, it doesn't bring up all those emotions anymore. And I'm not saying we need to let go of everything in life. There's so many things that are wonderful that we want to hold on to, happy memories and things that make us feel good. But what I'm trying to impart on you here is that you can choose what you hold on to and what you let go of. And is what you're holding on to making you feel good and serving you? That's the question. All right, when you can acknowledge this process and consciously change it, it's incredibly powerful and it can change every area of your life. All right. So going back to relationships, how often is it, let's take a small example between maybe a husband and a wife. Do you say something that bothers the other person? All right. Maybe you know exactly what buttons to push with them. Think back to the past. I'm sure this has happened recently. Are you still holding on to what they said a year ago? Even last week? A lot of people are. Or did you forget about the argument and totally let it go? It was so dumb and you don't even think about it anymore. You have that choice. We often forget about the actual things we were arguing about with people because what we're arguing about is so trivial. We just remember the emotions. Have you ever noticed that? A year ago, you remember had this big fight. You don't even want to know what it was over, but you do remember how it made you feel because emotions are the language of the universe. That's how we create in life is through emotions, and they're the most memorable part of a situation. So that's why we have to consciously manage them and choose them thoughtfully. Okay? So you can go ahead and let go of these things a lot faster. It's going to take practice. It's not going to happen the first time, but you can instantly or almost instantly let go of something that hits you and bothers you. Try letting go of things in the moment when they happen, rather than holding on to them and waiting months to get over them and forget about them. That's what I'm getting at with you today. You have the power to let go of your feelings and emotions much faster, almost instantaneously, depending on what it is. And if you don't, you run the risk of holding on, building resentment, and building powerful emotional associations over time that causes so much more pain than the original thing. Much more, all right? Hopefully this is making sense to everyone. If nothing else, I want you to think about what you might be holding on to from your past and ask yourself, is it serving you to hold on to it, or do you need to let it go? Because you can still let it go. It's never too late, ever. It's best to do it as soon as you can, but it's not too late, no matter how old it is. All right? Think about what you do want to hold on to. I want to hold on to love and gratitude and happy memories. Holding on to those things doesn't bring me pain, and that's the difference. It makes me feel good. It empowers me. So how do you feel when you think about that old memory or that other old person from your life? And ask yourself why you're holding on to that pain. Why suffer like that? Because you're the one who is suffering from it, not them. Try holding on to a different aspect of the situation. If somebody that you loved passed away, at some point you can learn to hold on to the good things about them and the happy memories and be grateful that you had them in your life, rather than holding on to the pain of them not being there anymore. And I know that's difficult, but people do it. We all process grief in different ways. And this one might take longer than just somebody saying something to offend you, but it's still possible and it's still your conscious choice. You can choose how events shape you by choosing what you hold on to and what you let go of and when. And you can choose whether or not to hold on to pain or to let go of it. You can choose whether or not to hold on to love or whether or not to let go of it. All of these things are a conscious choice, but it's important to look at your habits and look at what you have unconsciously started to believe and do. All right, this is a heavy topic. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we get back, I'm going to walk you through some actionable steps that you can take to practice letting go, and you can apply these to absolutely any situation in your life. All right, stay tuned. There's more. Hey everyone, while the show takes a quick break, I want to tell you about 2 ways that you can get help in your career for free. First, you can sign up for my mailing list and be a part of my community. I offer in-depth resources and solutions for your career problems. I have a free gift waiting for you when you sign up. Head over to careeruprising.com/signup and join my community today. Then join my LinkedIn group called Career Uprising Premium Online Community. It's growing every day, and you can interact with me and ask questions about your own situation. Just open up LinkedIn now and search for Career Uprising Premium Online Community. And I can't wait to connect with you. Let's get back to the show. All right, so what is the first step to letting go if you are ready to work on that? How do we even do that? It sounds like a nice concept, right? Thanks, Lorraine. It's easier said than done, but very possible and very necessary. So first, I want you to acknowledge your feelings. It is okay to feel hurt or angry or frustrated, whatever it is. Let that feeling sit with you for just a minute. I don't want you to bury your feelings or sweep them under the rug or pretend that they don't exist. But the difference is that you're not going to stay in that emotional state for days or weeks or months or years. Depending on what the situation is, you may only need to be mad or frustrated for a few minutes or hours or days at the most, probably. When the time is right, you need to move on. So first, just having awareness and acceptance of your feelings and accepting whatever has happened, not denying it, that is the most important thing. Second, you need to ask yourself how you want to feel about the situation going forward. There's how you feel in the moment when you get, hit with a rush of emotions because it just happened. That will be different than how you will feel as time goes on. Our feelings about people and events certainly change. I know you know that distance makes, time and distance between things absolutely gives you a different perspective. And there's a reason for that, right? So I certainly know I feel different about things now that I did in the past when they happened. All right. So that's normal. And I want you to acknowledge that. What I want to impress upon you here is that you can choose too how long you, quote, go through that painful process of grieving or hurting or just plain getting mad. It's entirely up to you how long that lasts. And that's where your power is. Most of us make that last far longer than it needs to, or even forever. So step 1 is to acknowledge and accept your feelings. And step 2 is to decide when you're done feeling that way and how you want to feel moving forward. Okay. And then sometimes there is action that we need to take in the physical sense. Maybe moving on means you need to actually end that relationship or quit that job or stop smoking or drinking or whatever it is that's causing you pain. Decide what action you need to take in order to help yourself feel the way that you want to feel about that situation. If I want to feel better about breaking up with somebody, then I may need to have some distance between myself and that person in order to practice that and give myself an opportunity to work through those feelings. Distance gives you a different perspective. So think about one area of your life where you feel like you need to let go of some old feelings or even of a toxic person in your life or a toxic job and work through this process. Acknowledge how you've been feeling and honor that. Decide how you want to feel going forward and then determine what actions or support from other people you need in order to help yourself carve out a new feeling around that situation. And I'm happy to help you do this if you need help. It's hard to do it alone. Change is difficult. It requires you to literally reprogram your brain and teach it to feel differently about a situation. And you can do that. And that comes from the wisdom of your consciousness, much deeper and much bigger and broader than just your finite, limited brain. Okay? So if you need help with this process, reach out to me. The coaching that I do is broader than just career coaching. It's truly life coaching. So if you've got something that you're going through in your life and you want someone to support you, that could be a way that you take action towards changing your thoughts and feelings about it. And you will change the rest of your life as a result. All right? That's it. I hope that you understood and appreciated and took in that message. There are more amazing shows coming. I've got lots of good plans for the month of March. So keep listening on Mondays, most Mondays, it's about every other, for new episodes. And you can listen, as I said, at careeruprising.com/podcast. But I'm out there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, I think iHeartRadio, about 9 or 10 different places. So however you like to listen to shows, thank you for finding the show. And I hope that you will continue to do so. More shows coming. All right, you guys, I'll be back soon. Talk to you later. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.